Good morning, I'm Shelly with Gilbert Marketplace, and today we're going to do a quick DIY using a couple Dollar Tree materials. One, I picked up some of this wire jute, also a couple of these really colorful bags of beads, and I had some of this greens. I'm not even sure what kind it is, but I'm going to use that and this wire cutter. And what we're going to make today is beaded carrots. I wanted to make these for my farmhouse tray. I know we're always looking for little things for the tray, and I just thought it would be super cute just to kind of put in front of my bunny on my little tray. So you can kind of see that's my little start of my Easter tray. So this morning, what we will do is we're gonna grab our wire jute. And what I did is I picked out all my orange balls and wood beads. And what we're gonna do is we're just going to put this on the wire. Now, make sure we have a nice clean cut. What sometimes I do is I just take a little bit of hot glue and put it on the tip. This is just a little trick to kind of help keep our jute from coming off our wire. Let's just put a little bit more careful. My hands are so tough from doing so many crafts. It's not too hot, it's a low temp. But just put a dab on there. Not too big, obviously, because then we won't be able to get our beads over it. And then just kind of turn your beads. What I did is I obviously took the biggest beads first. And you could do 3 or 4 of each, just depending on how long you want your carrot. Give them a twist and put them on here, okay? So the big ones definitely aren't a problem getting those on. Try to pick the side with the larger hole. I'll give you another trick in a minute if that is not successful, but you can see my jute is kind of pulling away a little, and that makes it a little more challenged. So once we get those on, now we'll start with our medium. And sometimes, like I said, it gets a little trickier because this jute is thick because there is a wire in there. So just kind of pull it. When you see the jute, you might have to use your wire cutters to help pull it out. You can see my wires coming out and not the jute. So we'll just push that wire back in and give it a good twist again. Go. When you see that jute, sometimes I just pull that and hold that on like that. So you can see this is coming off, and that's not a good thing. You could probably do this on straight wire, but I just like the way the jute looked. So if you just use your little wire cutters, you can get these at the Dollar Tree too, in the little craft section. Just kind of play with it a little here. You gotta make sure it gets in there real good. Sometimes you have to cut it too and restart. Where it's falling off a little, I'm just gonna recut it. Why struggle? Watch that stuff goes flying. I'm gonna just put a little more glue on that tip to try to keep these from fraying off there. It just wants to push. Okay, we don't have too many more here. Like I said, I use 3 larger, 3 medium, and 3 smaller. Now, a little trick is if you're small ones, just grab your little drill and bit. If they're small ones, don't go on too good. Just, you know, run it through there so that that hole is decent, you know, because that's the part that's going to make it a little bit more challenging. But you can see that just went right on. So sometimes you got to recut it just to get a good you know, point. Because otherwise it wants to bunch up in there. All right, so now I'm gonna pull that out a little bit. Now I just take this jute twine with the wire and bend it. So you can see I made just a little bend in it so it stayed on there real nice. If it doesn't stay on there nice, which sometimes it doesn't, but because we just cut it, it probably will stay on there really nice. Just use a little hot glue again. Then we're gonna push these beads down and we're gonna try to get that other wire right up in that first bead. And then pull these all down tight. Okay, so now I have my carrot and then I'm going to cut off and I'm just gonna leave maybe a finger, you know. Of course I have fat fingers, so if you have real skinny ones, give it a little bit more. And then I'm just gonna bend this very, very tip, just a little. Now you can see it's coming off a little bit, but that's okay. We're just going to, like I said, bend that, just because we wouldn't want the beads to fall off. I'll put a little glue on there and then just push down on that. So we want all those frays to kind of stay together. I mean, honestly, if it didn't, that would look okay too, because obviously this is the top. We're gonna need our carrot greens. Now you could buy grass at the Dollar Tree. You can buy just greens. They had some fern little pieces, but you know, something that looks like you know, the growing the greens. So then I just took these little pieces that I had. This might even be some rosemary. I'm not really sure what this is. I don't have a green thumb, but I pulled out 3 little pieces, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm literally just gonna shove those down in the wood ball. So you don't wanna get something with too thick of a stem. Otherwise you might just have to glue it. But for me, this really works. Now, honestly, I want one of these to be a little shorter, so I'm just gonna cut off that little piece so that it will go in there a little tighter and further down. Oops, I didn't get it in there. All right, we're just gonna kind of push it in there. The other ones are in there nice and tight. Trying to straighten this back out. You know what, instead of fighting with it, if it doesn't fit in there, like I said, you could probably use like a little fork or something to push down in there, but I'm just gonna glue it down. That's why we left that little bit of piece. So we can just hold that for a second. And there you have it. You have a little wood bead carrot. I think these are super cute. Quick DIY, doesn't even cost you, you know, a couple bucks to make, and you could probably make several of them with the packages. But I appreciate if you'd sprinkle again at Shelly with Gilbert Marketplace, and you guys all have a happy holiday.